Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 76 of the Megavision Show, the companion podcast to Megavision's magazine. Today is March 28th, 2021. I'm your host, Graham Cookson, and joining me this week, we dream the same dream. We want the same thing. Ooh, 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 ooh. And all we need is to see it together. It's my co-host, Scotty Moe, and that's it. We have no one else with us this week. Chris is unavailable, as is Marcin, and we actually didn't bother to line up any other guests. So yeah, it's just us two. It's the two amigos flying high. And yes, we're once again back live on Twitch. So keep us company and fire off any questions you have in the chat, and we'll get to them throughout the show. So as always, we'll be answering some of your burning questions. There's going to be a bit more Sega gaming banter, a bit of video like movie chat, I guess, and we'll be looking at the recent news about Sony possibly closing the PlayStation 3, PSP, and PS Vita digital stores. So yeah, strap in for the ride that is this week's Megavision Show. Oh no, I've lost my intro again. I keep doing this now. There we go. Yes, that's right. We are back. So, yeah, let's kick it off as we always do and just discuss what's been going on in our lives and our week. So, Scotty, buddy, how's it going? What's been going on?
My life and my week. I've been gone for 2 weeks.
You have. It's been a while.
My 2 weeks notice now. I was gone. The first portion or first reason I was gone is Rachel and I had celebrated our. Thank you, Sailor Carillia. I will get to that in a moment as well. Noticing my shirt already. We celebrated our 4-year anniversary by going to a hotel safely, COVID compliant.
Nice.
And we kind of just were lazy all weekend, got some food here and there. But it was nice to just get out of the house. She did get me this shirt for our anniversary. It is Haruko Harara from Fooly Cooly, but she plays the bass in that show. Plays the bass, but it's in the Scott Pilgrim style versus the world things, and she plays bass. It's a fun little cross reference thing there.
Nice.
And keeping with the theme that I only own Fooly Cooly shirts in red for some reason. But no, we did that. That was one reason I was gone. And the other reason I was out last week is Graham, you know both these people. My friend AJ proposed to his girlfriend Ashley.
Yeah, and, congratulations to them. Woo!
Yeah, so we were we didn't physically show up for that, unfortunately, but just to stay safe and keep distant. But someone was able to FaceTime us and everything, and he did. He used the Pokemon trading card proposal card and had her ring in a Pokeball.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he had stuff planned out. He initially wanted to do this, I don't think he cares if I talk about this, but he initially had plans to propose to her at a convention last July. And so we all know how that's gone. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So, yeah, but outside of that, I wanted to take a second and say I've completed a lot of stuff while I've been gone. One of them is... and it takes me forever to read books, finish books. I finished Michael J. Fox's most recent book, No Time Like the Future. It is a very positive spin on a lot of crap he's dealing with. For those that don't know, somehow he has Parkinson's disease. And he got it at a very young age, which is rather unlikely for the disease. But the book is just about his struggles and his positive spin on a lot of things. It's very good. And what's interesting is it was written like in 2019. And then as it was getting published, the pandemic happened. So like the epilogue actually discusses the pandemic a little bit. But it was kind of crazy to read a book that was so recently written, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just with everything going on. But yeah, Michael J. Fox, No Time Like the Future. Finished that recently. I think I got this for Christmas, actually. That shows you how long it takes me to read a book.
Wow. So can I just ask, is that for people who don't know about the book, does it actually go through like his acting career and his life and childhood or stuff, or is it more specific about
it assumes that the reader is familiar with his career, like with Family Ties and Back to the Future and stuff. What's interesting is the quote actually doesn't even have to do with Back to the Future. It just kind of fits.
Yeah.
But no, it's more so his time post full-time acting, but it does involve some of that. It involves some accidents he had regarding his Parkinson's and everything. But no, it's really good. It's really well written. I felt good that I had to have a dictionary nearby. And since I read at night, I didn't want to use my phone to look it up because that would wake me up again. So I had a physical freaking Webster's next to me on my bedside table. But unlike Ready Player One, I had to look up words and to find out the definitions. It's written assuming like it tells jokes and stuff that he doesn't spell them out, which I appreciate. Like going from because the last novel I read was Ready Player 2, and then going to this thing, it was refreshing to know that the author was smarter than me. I don't know how this sounds. I mean, it just Robert Klein is writing teenager dialogue, so this is not that.
Okay, fair enough. Awesome.
But yeah, good. A positive has positive themes in it and stuff. And then I wanted to mention, speaking of finishing things, we finished 2 TV series in the time that I was gone. Schitt's Creek, and also The Good Place.
Okay. I haven't seen the end of The Good Place. I love that show, but I got to like season 4, I think, and stopped.
There are only 4 seasons.
Okay, maybe it was season 3 that I got to. Oh, okay.
Well, season 3, seasons 1 through 3 were on Hulu for a while, and then we were watching it as it was wrapping up. So season 4 was not on any streaming services. You had to like buy NBC or whatever it was to actually watch it. Yeah, it was really dumb.
In the UK, The Good Place is a Netflix show. Like it's actually Netflix branded and everything.
Oh, that's weird because it wasn't, I don't think.
Okay.
But yeah, so we finished both of those. We had been watching Good Place for a while and then like stopped at the last 3 episodes and never wrapped it up. So we finished that up. We finished Schitt's Creek first, and we I think you and Chris really overhyped it.
I was worried that was going to happen. God damn it!
It's a fine show, and we watched the Best Wishes, Sincere Regards, or whatever it is on Netflix that they have regarding Schitt's Creek. Is just like a behind the scenes and the
I haven't actually seen that yet. I've been wanting to.
That's pretty good, and it does a good retrospect on like how meaningful this show is for the LGBT plus. I'd never get the initials right. Community. So it is a powerful show in that because it does a good job of normalizing those views and everything, and that community, rather than having like one character that's like, I don't like the gays, what do I do? There's no horribly portrayed homophobia in that show, which is good. And I think that's kind of. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I was going to say, and I mentioned it on previous. I've mentioned on a couple of shows actually. How I personally. I feel like the relationship of David and his partner feels like the most natural homosexual relationship I've seen on a TV show. There's something about it, there's something just almost beautiful about it, which I don't know why in other TV shows it never seems to feel that natural. But in this one, I was like, this just seems like a genuine relationship almost.
It does, and it's because like. Gays and bisexual people get very stereotyped as like the most colorful, flamboyant, dramatic person on the show, and that's gotten old. Not to say that there aren't people out there like that, but that's not what that whole society is about, you know. So I think it does a good job of that. It probably does such a good job of that because it's in a small town. Where if you have ever been sucked into any small towns like myself, they're some of the most closed-minded, racist places in the world. But there are good small towns where like everybody's related to everybody else basically, and there's that small polite charm and everything. You see a lot now that I think about it. You see more movies portraying small towns as like in a scary movie or a horror movie of like, and unfortunately a Fred Durst movie comes to mind, but we won't talk about that right now. So what I was getting at is Schitt's Creek is a good positive show. If you need something positive to watch right now, definitely that. We were sort of disappointed that the final episode was just another 20-minute timestamp. Like almost every show I've seen, if they know it's going to be the series finale, it's like twice or even 3 times as long, you know? But they crammed a lot into the end. And it was fun. It was a fun trip overall. I think my only like solid complaint is nearly every episode ends with a scene after what could have been the final scene in that episode.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
It's just a little jarring from a story point of view, I guess, storytelling point of view.
Yeah, I do understand what you mean. Yeah, there were definitely a few episodes where I was just like, oh, like they have a conversation and it's like end.
Yeah,
it
would literally be mid-conversation sometimes when the episode ends. And it wouldn't, I think it's probably more jarring because the next episode would not pick that up at all or like pick up from that conversation or anything.
Yeah.
But no, I recommend watching The Best Wishes, et cetera, et cetera. There are some good, like, top 25 things you didn't catch in whatever. For example, we learned that Stevie's character, who was a certain character in the Cabaret musical they performed, apparently in real life, that actress, that was one of her dreams to always portray that character on Broadway or something. So, like, so Daniel Levy basically made one of her dreams come true after finding that out and whatever. So that was pretty cool. So it's a good show. It's got a lot of positivity in it, and then going over to The Good Place, lots of positivity in that, and lots of like good, strong characters. And I really liked where they went with it because it could have gone a different route that could have been too much. And I understand why they went the way they did, so that they don't get any religious nuts on their cases.
Right. Okay.
But for those that don't know at all what The Good Place is, you know what? No, I'm not going to describe these shows. Fuck it. If you're online, go look up The Good Place. Go look up Schitt's Creek. We've given synopses for each of the anything enough on the show. Yeah. But The Good Place is fun. It's not really a complaint, but an observation. And you said you've watched most of it, Graham. That shows a lot of those jokes are not going to age well. There was like I'm talking like one that just popped into my head was when oh god, what's the tall woman's name who is like knows she name drops with everything she says basically.
I've actually forgotten all the characters' names now because it's been like a year or two since I saw it.
The only one I can remember is Chidi. Chidi, Eleanor, I can't remember. But she says something at one point. She's like, "Oh, this is just as bad as the time I tried to teach Taylor Swift how to dance." And it's like, in like 10 years, people are not going to know Taylor Swift, maybe, you know, or
Tahani.
Oh, Tahani. Huh? Yeah. She says something like that. Like a lot of those things, and a lot of like all the Florida jokes are probably going to fall flat in the distant future. Like Florida. What's funny is how like the Florida jokes and just the fact that what's his name is from Florida, Gainesville or not Gainesville, I forget where, and like there's all the Florida's the butt of so many jokes of how stupid they are and everything with how he acts and everything. I feel like those are not going to age super well, but I don't know. It's still a fun show. It's still a funny show. It has a lot of those like. It has comparable to like Futurama humor where they say a incredibly stupid character says something incredibly dumb and no one acknowledges it. So it just keeps going. I appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Good Place is solid. All of that's on Netflix right now. And all of Schitt's Creek is on Netflix right now. So yeah, I was just going to say like, we finished those shows up. We're going to move on to the Goldbergs now. And yeah, I've watched some of it. Rachel's watched some of it. We know that, unfortunately, rest in peace, that one of the actors recently passed from that show.
Has the show finished in America? Like,
nope.
It hasn't.
I'm pretty sure it's not done. Yeah.
Okay, because I have to admit that is genuinely one of my favorite shows, like modern comedy shows at the moment. It's just one of those ones I can just dip into any episode, and I just enjoy it. And it's from my era as well, like growing up in like the 80s and stuff. I don't remember a huge amount of the 80s because I was still quite young. I guess I was more of a 90s boy, but I do get a lot of the references. And when they talk about movies and stuff, these are like when they talk about movies and stuff, it's always movies I love and like video games that I love and stuff. So I really dig it. And then I just love the relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had a hard time watching it because I was also rewatching, or maybe catching up on Stranger Things at one point. So like they go hard on the 80s references, whereas that's not like what Goldbergs is all about. It's more about the family drama, except for like that one episode with Zelda or something, I forget. But
yeah.
So
and my nephew, one of my nephews, he is just like the dad in it. He gets home from school and literally just drops his trousers or drops his pants and just walks around the house with his like school shirt on and his underwear.
That's pretty good. I want to address in the chat before we get too far from it. They were asking, isn't there a new season of Fooly Cooley? There's 2 new seasons or something of Fooly Cooley. It's called like Progressive and something else. I forget. But if you guys are still thinking about that, you can find it. There is newer Fooly Cooley stuff out there. And then I'll talk about my pickups real quick. Rachel got me a anniversary card. I won't read the inside, but I'll just show the cover of it. It is Keanu Reeves saying "You're breathtaking." So that's from when he appeared during E3 during the Cyberpunk 2077 date drop and stuff. So this is a ridiculous, great greeting card. And yeah,
I love it.
And then, but I kind of wish Chris was here for this because she found me the copy of Fangoria with Brain Scan on the cover with the fucking trickster from that movie. I haven't even read this yet, but she found it, so it's pretty cool. And then she also got me, Graham, does this look familiar to you at all?
Yeah, I reckon. Is that Tokyo Bus Guide? Or something?
Yes. So this is, see how it's like, for those that are listening, it has like a bunch of real life people in bus outfits, you know, like people that would drive a bus or be on a bus in that profession on the cover of this thing with like a pink Tokyo Bus Guide logo. And then on the other side, you can see through the jewel case to see the CD because that's how demos are, or singles, when you go to find them. Oh, and the disc is falling out because it lets you see the disc on the outside because there's no other box art or whatever.
Yeah.
This is apparently, I'll show you the inside of the liner as well. They're just a bunch of Japanese. There's there's no English on this anywhere. It is literally 2 tracks. It is one with vocals and a karaoke version. We don't know, and she didn't know that going into it, buying it for me. So, gentlemen don't discuss prices, but it was more than you would pay for a single, basically, or like an EP or something. And I did try to translate it using Google Translate. Let me see if I can find these quickly enough. But some of them, this is not going to show up on the camera, but one of them, oh god, it's really super not going to show up. Let me see if I do this real quick. But it would, it would translate it as sumo skull is what the bus says, or just in real big letters, it says scar, or another one was, it translated whatever the name of the CD is, Bus Girl to Do. And so that was pretty great. And I forget the name. Oh, it has them split up on the inside. Like it has the girl, there's 3 guys in this musical group and there's 2 girls, and it translated, there's little bus symbols above each of them. Above the girls, it says Front Ride Girls, and above the boys, it translated to Departure Boys. So probably all 100% correct, thanks to the Google Translate app on my phone. But the fact that she found essentially like some sort of song and a karaoke version of it on a CD, and that was one of my gifts. So she's a really good gift giver.
That is cool. That's very cool, actually. So what I'm hearing from this small conversation right now is next Dreamcast Marathon, Tokyo Bus Guide karaoke session at the end, yes?
Sure.
Yeah.
I haven't actually listened to that yet. I just it got put to the wayside, but she listened to it and she's like, I still don't know what this is. I don't know. So it's
I don't remember there being songs in the game. Am I going crazy?
No, I think it's honestly like some sort of promotional item. And I didn't really look too far into it because it also says PlayStation 2. That's actually, I lied. There is something in English on there. On the very top, it says PlayStation 2. But because Tokyo Bus Guide was released on the PS2 along with the sequel on
I
PS2.
didn't know that. Ooh.
No idea. Yeah, well, the problem is the PS2 is region locked. So if you grab, it was probably only released in Japan. You'd have to get a specific console for it. Which honestly, every year I talk myself out of getting a PS2 region, Japanese regions, just so I can play the Cowboy Bebop beat 'em up game. But anyway, promise I'm not going forever with this. 2 last pickups. One of them because I started playing it on stream. I got the Croc Legend of the Gobo strategy guide.
Yes.
3 pages are missing from this thing, so I need to leave a Karen comments for the idiots that I bought it from. Croc is good. Graham, I would say Croc is better than the first Tomb Raider.
Okay, if you want to say that, that's fine.
No, just like
they're very different games.
Well, yeah, but they had all these ads where like it was Croc against the silhouettes of Crash and Mario, and
okay.
Croc, and then like he apparently ate them all and whatever in magazine ads. Croc, for those that don't know, is a PS1/Sega Saturn platforming game. I've been streaming that recently, and then I did just grab this at Half Price Books. We'll have to take you to a Half Price Books because it's basically a used bookstore, but you can find games there as well.
Oh, okay.
I found the freaking Dino Crisis strategy guide for $7. And the coolest thing about this is it says Toys R Us exclusive, which is just literally these weird cardboard cards. I don't know. But it still has the map poster and like the sealed secret section in it. So it's in really good condition. For $7, I couldn't beat it because I thought about playing this soon anyway.
Just to let you know one thing for anyone who's watching right now, because of the way I've cut the video, you have to hold things slightly more to your left, I think.
Oh no!
Yeah,
okay.
We're seeing most of it. We're seeing most of it when you just opened it. Then, like, we couldn't see the right side of the magazine, so that's fine. Like, too far left. Basically, God damn it. Okay,
there
stop it.
We go. I'll just continue to talk like this for the rest of the episode. I'll shake it a little bit so that you can tell that I am talking.
Okay, that's
that's Regina. I don't think she has a last name. I tried to like look up her name to tag it properly on social media garbage, but
I didn't even realize she had a name because I've never actually played Dino Crisis. The most of Dino Crisis I've seen is at the Dreamcast Marathon last year. Who was playing it? I can't remember who was playing it.
Corey was.
That was it.
And he actually got legit scared when a T-Rex like burst through a window or something.
That scared me as well, like watching him playing it. Like I didn't expect that to happen.
That's in our clips. I'll find it and link it in the chat for those to check out. Yeah. But that's me though. I've been busy buying and doing stuff, I guess.
Oh,
I was going to mention one more thing. Ooh. So I tried doing fitness boxing on the Switch because our friend Nick recommended it, and I was going to tweet. Are you capable to share screens right now, or share like I can tweet something and show it real quick? But what I was going to show, basically, I went over to fitness boxing, and the training avatars are like attractive anime characters, and it really threw me off compared to because I'm used to like the Ring Fit people that are just goofy, don't look like real people. I wasn't expecting like you look like a cheerleader kind of thing, Let me see if I can get this. Yeah, okay.
I could try and bring it up. 1 second.
Go ahead and bring up my Twitter, and you'll see one picture I just shared, which says for the podcast. And let me see if this will work. Well, can I share videos? I don't think I can share videos. Maybe I can.
Oh, okay. Right. So this is going to be 1 second. Let's see if hopefully this works. Right. Yeah, good. It's working. So for the podcast. Okay. So
audio people, can you, look at that lady. Like that came up. I was like, who are you?
So
I don't think I should.
What Scotty has shared in Twitter for the audio listeners appears to be, it says daily workout in the top left, and it's got like results and stuff to the right, sort of showing like two stars out of 3 and stuff like that. And it says, well, I've seen worse at the bottom, but the character to the left is, yes, as you say, an attractive anime style young lady with a very short skirt on.
Yep.
And like a sort of sports hoodie top thing on. And yeah.
Her name is Janice.
Okay.
And you can change their outfits. She totally has a top that is a cheerleader uniform.
Yeah, basically.
I was trying to find another video showing, but the variety, like the diversity of the cast, is very good for the what would be your trainers in this, because there's like someone that sounds like they're from Australia, and there's some other ethnicities in there. But they each have something you can say when you want to change their outfit or change your avatar, your trainer. And one of them is a total Karen that was like, well, I guess, or she says like, oh, yeah, you can change your trainer if you must. I'm like, whoa, lady, hold your horses. Go back to your PTA meeting. You'll be all right. Yeah, but I just wanted to, like, it was so jarring going from Wii Fit or Ring Fit, where your trainer is the ring, and it's like this goofy cartoony atmosphere, over to this sassy minx that's like telling you how to box and stuff. And meanwhile, she's in a short skirt, or you can put Spanx on her or whatever.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That's a little jarring and confusing for the workout, but anyway, that's me.
Nice. No, that's cool. I like it. So a few things that's happened recently. So last night I actually went to a virtual stag or bucks night. I don't know what you call it in America. Like when
stag is when you go to prom without a date.
Okay, right. So that's a bit different. So do you call it bucks night at all? That's what they call it in Australia.
What is bucks night?
What's that, sorry?
What is a bucks night?
Okay, so a stag, we call it a stag night or a stag weekend in the UK. It's basically when someone's about to get married. It's like, there's a word for it. Like in The Hangover, they went for like a thing before the wedding.
Bachelor party.
Bachelor party, that's what you guys call it. Yeah, you call it a bachelor party. We call it a stag night. In America, in Australia, they call it a bucks night. Right, bachelor party, yeah. Yeah, thanks,
Okay.
thanks, Sailor. Yeah. Yeah, so I went to a virtual one because my friend is getting married. He's meant to get married last year. Obviously, didn't happen. He's actually going to get married he's English. His soon-to-be wife is Irish, but they've got friends in Australia and around the world, and they were going to get married in Spain. That didn't happen because everything's locked down. And it kind of got postponed a couple of times. It was meant to happen again this year. And they've sort of decided we're not going to do the big wedding with everybody. We're going to do like a little small ceremony because you can still do those. So it's going to be like a little local thing just with his family. Like 50, I think you can have up to 10 or 15 people. So we're like, because originally we were going to go on the bachelor party. It was going to be a bachelor weekend sort of thing down in the coast in England. And we're going to go like go-karting, do all that sort of fun stuff. But that's still kind of on the cards. We're going to do it after he gets married now. So we thought, let's have a virtual thing. Okay. And so we basically all sat around on a Zoom call, getting drunk.
Okay. Oh, wow.
It was pretty fun. We had some sort of fun kind of games and stuff, like almost like a quiz based, but for the bachelor, like for him to answer. And if he got any questions right, we had to drink. If he got anything wrong, he'd obviously have to drink. And he got most of them wrong. Although he was particularly good at animal anatomy, as in certain appendages of male animals. He seemed to have a lot of knowledge there, which is quite funny. But and it got to the point though that we got to like we kind of done all the questions and stuff. We were just having like just fun, like asking him random questions because he was getting more and more increasingly drunk. And one guy asked about what was it? He's like, because he'd been drinking a lot of Jaeger, and he also had some gin. But he was just drinking. He was just drinking Jaeger neats. Like normally we have like Jaeger bombs, like you have like Red Bull and Jaeger and mix it together, and it's like a really good energy drink thing, which I love those. But he was just like drinking lots and lots of Jaeger, and someone sort of said, "Have you ever mixed Jaeger and gin together before?" Like almost like just like a joke, because he drank a little bit of gin, but been drinking Jaeger separately, but kind of mixing in his stomach. And he took that as
strong, contrasting flavors.
Yes, indeed. But he took that as the guy asking him to do it or telling him to do it. Yep. So he was like, "Okay," and just started mixing it. And we're like, "What are you doing?" And he just went, "Yeah," and just downed it all. And we're just like, okay, was that good? And he's like, no, yeah, not bad. And within 10 seconds, he was just like on the floor, like vomiting. Like he just seemed to disappear from the camera.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, basically. And he was gone for the rest of the night. We had to message. So he was the only person in his house other than him was his future wife, basically. So we were like messaging her, going, yeah, can you just bring him some water? Because we don't know what's happened to him.
Just pour it on him.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get it in his mouth.
And we think she got actually quite annoyed. So some of the messages she started sending back, she was just a bit pissed off. So apologies to her.
Is she watching now? Sorry.
But like some people on the chat, some people on the group just started like sending Deliveroo, like or like, Uber Eats style stuff to the house, like pizza and stuff. Like let's just get this man some food. So like sending. Oh,
that's
pizza.
Hilarious. That's crazy. The future is here.
Yeah, but that's the first time I've got drunk in over a year. I genuinely got drunk. I had basically a whole bottle of gin myself, like mixing it with other stuff. It's some good gin, actually. It was like elderflower gin, which I'd never had before, mixed with a bit of a ginger beer or ginger ale. Good concoction.
Elderflower sounds like a World of Warcraft screen name. I'm not a liquor guy myself because I can't what up, Caesar? I can't gauge like when I'm drinking beer, I can gauge how intoxicated I am, so I know when to stop. I can't tell with liquor, so I just stay away from liquor generally.
Okay, fair enough. See, beer, I do drink beer, but often find it's kind of a bit too gassy almost, so I actually feel a bit slow and sluggish. So I only have one or two, then I move on to spirits, and I'm a bit like, a bit more up and about. If I'm on beer all night, I kind of just get to the point. I'm like, but yeah, last night I was drunk, but a happy drunk, so it was great. So afterwards, I was like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's fun. And so on Friday, I did another stream, a solo stream, which I was doing. I'm doing also retro stuff. I'm getting the retro kick, but I was playing Burning Rangers on the Sega Saturn, which you popped in for briefly, Scotty, I believe.
Accidentally, but yes, I was there.
Yeah, it's I haven't played this game for years, and I love it. I'm not sure how exciting it is to stream, though. To be honest, like as I was playing it, because there's action in it, but it's not really action like fighting enemies. It's just the fire is kind of like the main enemy. But I did the first 2 levels, and I can't remember. It's either 4 or 5 levels in the game.
It's short. I do remember that, which is also super annoying that it's so expensive because it is such a short game.
Yeah, although it's a bit like Knights in that you can go back and play it and things will be different.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some cool things that you can do to going back and stuff. So yeah.
You reminded me holding up that box that I did stream Crime Wave, and that game is not good. It's just straight up not good. Like it has potential, but the camera angle combined with how the game was stuttering because so much is going on, because it is like an open city that you're in, like a sandboxy type thing. But for the Saturn, what pushes it is there's just traffic. There's just cars and everything driving around the whole time. And like some of the models and stuff, when you try to rotate the camera, and I played it. I gave it like 2 missions worth, like about 20 minutes worth, and then I switched over to Mass Destruction and played that the rest of the night.
Love Mass Destruction. That's one of my favorite Saturn games. I freaking love that game.
But that's the thing. Like playing that, I was like, once you have like explosions going and you're just destroying entire cities and stuff with your tank, and other enemies are coming in. Like so much stuff is going on, and yet there's Crime Wave over there with arguably about the same amount of stuff, maybe less in some cases, that just can't. It's stuttering so much it doesn't. I don't know.
And Mass Destruction is complete. All the models are completely 3D, aren't they? It was Crime Wave, I think.
The buildings are, and the little dude, like the infantry are sprites, but the other tanks coming at you, I think, are full models and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, just need more time with it, I guess. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel Crime Wave is just let down by that stupid freaking camera.
Oh yes, very much so. I got used to that, but it didn't. Like, I felt like I didn't have full control over what was going on because of the camera. Yeah,
like, I remember kind of getting in my head, the camera does spin like this as I drive around corners, so I can kind of manage that. But this often you're chasing after the enemy, and like the way the camera moves, it's suddenly like you've lost the enemy, and it's like,
yeah.
God. So that game.
Sometimes my depth perception, or the depth perception of the game, was not helping me out. Like, I couldn't tell.
Oh no, I think Scotty's just frozen.
I'm still here.
Okay,
Hello?
good. You're back now. Hi. Sorry. Okay.
Sorry, I was saying that I can't tell when like the depth perception in the game was very deceiving. Like I couldn't tell when I was supposed to be on an overpass or the enemy was there or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was just I'm glad I didn't pay the full asking price for it right now.
Okay. Yeah.
The copy I got. So
yeah, man. Whew. Yeah. What could have been with that game? Man. Anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of my week that I've had, but I've got some pickups and I've actually been holding off for you to come back to the show for me to show some of these off actually. I don't know why, but I kind of like, I want to show Scotty these. I really want to show Scotty. So
I can't wait to hear about it. Right. That's the last time I'm doing that.
So let's hold this up before me. What do you see, Scotty?
A cardboard box.
You do see a cardboard box. And what is in said cardboard box? Well, we've got some Haribo, little happy cola things. Yeah. We call them Haribo sweets, but you call them candy, I guess. Little gummy candy things.
Gummy bears.
And then inside, what is it? What could it be? It is a small stack
Holy crap.
of Dreamcast games.
Graham just whipped out like 9 Dreamcast games.
1, 2, 3. You're correct. It's 9. Nine games.
That's I'm like, you ever watch DuckTales where Scrooge McDuck like throws some coins in the air and the guy counts them real quick? Like he tells him the exact amount of change in his hand.
That rings
That's more my useless information. I remember a precise scene from the cartoon DuckTales. All right, back to you, Graham.
There's one scene from DuckTales I can always remember. I won't go into it now, but maybe another time. Anyway, yes. So yeah, basically, I very rarely go on Facebook these days, but a few weeks back, it's probably closer to a month back now, actually. Anyway, I went on the Dreamcast Junkyard page. It's one of the few ones I actually go to, and someone, this girl on there, or woman, I don't know if that's derogatory, or a lady, a female on there, was selling some Dreamcast games, and I was like, ooh, these look good. And most of them were sold, but there were quite a few left over. Most of them I didn't actually have. But the one thing is, I didn't realize that these are actually all Japanese games. I thought some of them were actually the American versions, but it's fine. You know, I can still play them.
Still be able to play them.
Yeah. So let's see. What do I have here? I've got some J-League football game type thing. So like soccer for you guys.
It's very chrome covered. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's kind of
soccer ball. Okay.
Yeah, you could kind of see that the soccer ball. But yeah, and on the front it says, "Get together, win a victory." So yeah, I got, what's this? Oh yeah, Psychic Force 2012, which is a game I do vaguely know of.
Fucking weird game. Yeah.
It's a fighting game, yeah? Is that right?
Yeah, you fly around in it. It's like Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, it says on the back, 360 degrees all range battle. So that's good.
That 360 degrees is questionable, but yeah.
I got Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2,
Nice.
which I think I already might own this one.
Yeah, I remember Brett and I played either that or the Ferrari game like on a whim, just hanging out after the marathon, and it was surprisingly good for a racing sim related game.
Yeah. Actually, let's go through some of the slightly less Japanese ones. So I've got NBA 2K.
Easy enough.
Because these games are actually surprisingly hard to get hold of in the UK, because American sports games, they don't really sell that well over here. So basketball, NFL, ice hockey games.
Right.
Yeah, they don't really seem to sell that many. They're normally still quite cheap, but just hard to get hold of.
The other football, probably hockey.
Yeah. And okay, King of Fighters 99.
Oh, box art is something else.
Yeah, it's just a
dude's face,
an angry dude's face, basically. And then we get into more of the Japanesey stuff, which this one's one that most people should be familiar with, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, dude, that goes for a pretty penny. Yeah,
so I'm actually quite happy I've got this. I don't know how hard it's going to be in Japanese, if it's all the menus are in Japanese or something. Let's find out.
Yeah,
normally in Japanese games, the menus are kind of okay, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's a game I've always wanted to get, and I had an opportunity to get it when it first released and just never did. Because I thought, maybe I'll get it another time. Then, years later, it's like, can't find it. It's really expensive. God damn it.
Yeah, another late late Capcom release as well.
Oh,
TJ's saying that it's mostly in English.
Mostly in English. Is it the online version? I have no idea. How can I tell? It does say something about NetFront JV Lite on it. I don't know if that refers to being online.
I think they have something on the front that says like online whatever. I could be wrong.
If it does, it's all in Japanese because I can't read any of that.
Sure enough. Turn it over. Let me see the back. I can't see if it has a modem picture or any online stuff on
There's something. Oh, wait.
Crap.
Where is it? So there it's something about NetFront JV Lights. I don't know if that refers to it or something. Anyway, yeah, I'll have to double check properly for you. But yeah, and so some other games I've got. What the hell is this? Something Dreamcast edition, and it's a little baseball game.
That's a baseball game, yeah.
But literally no idea what it is.
Like Power Pros or something in the US. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's made by Konami. That's all I can tell you. It says number 1 in the top and 2000. So these are things I can tell you about this game. And then, this is interesting. This is a slightly thicker case than the others. I don't know if you can see that. The one on the right. It's just slightly thicker. It's also another baseball game.
Whoa.
Also, no idea what it says on it. So
very bulbous.
Don't know if you can see the characters on the back there.
What's the inside look like that makes it a bigger case? Is it 2 discs or something?
No, it doesn't seem to be.
It's weird.
It's one
just
disc.
A really thick manual, maybe.
Yeah, the manual seems quite thick, actually.
Maybe that's why. I remember like some JRPGs on PS1, they would have the double jewel case literally because the manual was too thick for a regular jewel case.
Yeah. This one is actually made by Sega as well, actually, this baseball one. So
interesting.
Yeah. And then the last one is something. I have no idea what this is.
What the fuck? Literally. Max out my screen on my end. That's Gundam.
Is it Gundam?
Dude. Yeah, that is 100% Gundam. Don't you watch the anime?
I do not.
That's why I didn't know my shirt, folks. That might be... I bet you TJ's freaking out about that once the stream catches up. That might be the game that was recently brought back online by the Dreamcast Online community.
Oh, really?
Not certain. No, that one wasn't Gundam Wing. That was 2088 or whatever. I don't know. TJ, you're in the chat. Help us out. You're the self-proclaimed Dreamcast aficionado. That is definitely a Gundam game, though.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I might go robotic on my side if I try to Google anything.
Yeah. Just for the audio listeners, on the front, it's just tons of mechs basically on the front cover. Then on the back,
tons of Gundams.
Lots of anime-style people on the back, basically. It's a really cool cover, though. And then the back of the book is even more Japanesey characters, like
some chibi people.
Chibi style characters.
Gundam versus game that they brought back. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Says TJ. So you got some weebs in the audience right now, so we know what's happening. But
and just for TJ, I don't know if you were on when I showed this earlier. This is the UK box art for Burning Rangers, because I didn't have the box with me when I was streaming the other day. I went to my parents' house. He just wanted to see it, but I didn't have it to hand. So there you go, TJ.
Nice.
Okay, and then I've got 2 other things to show you. One is less exciting. Although I'm excited, but I don't know how everyone else is. I got
Balan. Hey, you got it.
Balan Wonderworld for the Xbox One, but I need to fix my Xbox One.
For some reason, had no review copy codes go out.
The thing is, I enjoyed the demo. I actually genuinely enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's like the best thing I've ever played, but I had fun, and I'm interested to play the full game because it reminds me of Space Station Silicon Valley, that kind of style thing.
Okay.
I think some of the hats or some of the costumes you wear, whatever, were a bit weird. A bit pointless as well, because there's one level where you got some characters. I was like, I don't need any of these other characters. I can just one character and do the whole level. So
that's still a straight rep, so you haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, I literally got it yesterday, and I just haven't. My main Xbox I use is dead at the moment. That's the one I need to.
Yeah.
So so I should have probably bought it on the Switch, to be honest. But yeah, so I didn't. And then the last thing I want to show you. I was going to hold up one of my Dreamcasts. Curious. What's going on here? What do we know? I don't know if you can see inside there. Open the lid. What do you see inside there?
You have SD cards glued to it.
I do. Let's ignore those SD cards for now.
It looks like there's a hard drive.
Ooh, could you be right? Let's just pop it off. Pop off the top.
That's scary that you just pulled your Dreamcast apart.
Oh yeah, I don't screw this one up anymore because this is like my modded Dreamcast. I just always open. But yes, I have a hard drive in there because I bought ages ago, and I showed it on the show before. I got the mode by Terror Onion, and which I originally planned to put in my Sega Saturn. And then Nick, our friend, basically told us about the satiator for the Sega Saturn, which is super easy to use because with the mode on the Saturn, you have to like really take it apart and stuff and do stuff. With the satiator, you just literally pop it in the back, which is awesome. So yeah, the Dreamcast, installing the mode on the Dreamcast is a lot easier. And now I can't get the lid back on. That's not good. But yeah, I now have the mode and a hard drive with some games in it, basically. And I will just say this. I think the mode is so much better than the GDMU. It's way more expensive. So they're both... So the pros and cons, like GDMU works really well, but it's a bit more of a pain to set up and get games onto it. Like you have to download some extra software, which then you sort of drag stuff into it, and then it sort of does something, and then puts it onto the SD card for you, and it works with the GDMU. I also found that quite a few games I had didn't work on the GDMU for some reason. I'm not sure why. Oh. Those games, though, all work on the mode. Like exactly the same file that I use, put it on the mode, it works. The mode is just drag and drop as well. Literally, on Windows, you have two windows open, one for your hard drive, one with your games on it. Just literally drag them in, and yeah, then you go and it's there. And it's got its own built-in menu system, which is really cool. So you can actually have you can also download a file which gives you all the box art and stuff, all the games and everything. So yeah, it's actually really impressive what it does. And obviously you can have like a big terabyte hard drive or 2 terabytes or whatever.
Right.
But you can also use USB sticks and also SD cards as well. With this, It's got those functionalities built in, but you can't use a USB at the same time as a hard drive. But you can use an SD card and hard drive at the same time, or an SD and USB stick at the same time.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm loving it. I think it's really good so far. So yeah, this is now permanently in my modded Dreamcast. So really happy about it. Yeah.
Why did you buy any of those games?
Very true. I mean, I like the physical games, and quite often I still play on like the physical games on my Dreamcast. But yeah, that's just a thing. But yeah, there we go.
If you're not comfortable saying that's fine, but Happy Dude asked in the chat, how much did that cost you?
I actually can't remember because I bought it I've actually had this sitting on my shelf for nearly 2 years now, I think.
That's been in the background for many an episode.
Yeah, I bring it out occasionally, don't I? I genuinely can't remember. I think it might be a couple of $100 American though, or something.
Probably.
So yeah, it's not a cheap thing, but it's one of those things. I sort of mentioned on the show previously that now that I'm not traveling around to work and stuff, I've been saving up money and sort of buying these little things that are kind of interesting to me, and I just want to give them a test and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, like the Game Gear Micro.
Yeah. But yeah, for price-wise, GDMU is way more affordable and a really good option. But if you really want to give it a try, or if you've got the money, check out the mode, because I'm actually very impressed with it. But also, if you do set it up, you can actually literally take the mode out of the Dreamcast, put it in the Saturn if you've preset it up, and you can have both. You can have both Saturn and Dreamcast games on your hard drive, and it will just read. As soon as you put it in the Saturn, it will just go, "Oh, you're in the Saturn now. Let's play the Saturn games," basically. So it can mix between the two.
Hence the cover of it. For those that didn't see, it's like split in half. Essentially the top, the disc tray. It's one half is the Dreamcast, the other half is the Saturn.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Cool. So Happy Dude says 182 euros. So there you go.
Yeah, or $235 American.
Wow, yeah. So I think in the UK at the time it was around 150, 160 pounds, maybe. So yeah, still is definitely not cheap.
Considering how much Saturns are jumping up, Dreamcast has already jumped up because they're about $85 around now. I remember when they were only 50, just like 2 years ago. I guess if you were to buy just those consoles, you're paying less than €235 or €182. But if you couple in the games that are hard to find, then yeah, it's definitely worth the cost. And that, another reason I'm doing the Poly Mega and stuff. But
yeah, definitely. Oh, one other thing I think about the mode as well that I like is it's easier, from what I can tell, to do multi-disc games because you can actually set it up to have like a mini playlist. So you can actually tell it this is the first disc, this is the second disc. So when you get to the end of one of them, you open up you can basically press a little button on the mode. It should switch to the next disc. So when it goes, please insert disc 2 now, it just does it. With GDMU, I haven't actually tried it, but I'm not sure you can actually do that.
Don't you have to actually open the tray or something? Or
so so basically you can open the tray and there's actually like you can't really see it on this camera. There's a couple of little buttons just here, so you can press those buttons, and basically that's one way to switch between the next disc that you've got lined up, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there we go. Cool. So yeah, that's my week basically. I've got nothing else. Nothing else. So
that's okay.
So with that, do you need a quick bathroom break, or are you happy to go into Scotty Mo's?
I could use one. We've been going about an hour. We could probably skip over and then come back with our questions and feedback.
Cool. Okay, awesome. So yeah, we are going to have a quick break. Chat, if you've got any questions or feedback from like previous episodes of the show or what have you, drop them in. We're also later going to be talking about PlayStation closing the PS3, PS Vita and PSP digital stores. So drop any questions you've got about that as well in the chat if you can. And yeah, we will be right back in a couple of minutes. So cheers. Hang around.
Here it is where you ask us stuff and we answer it. Hooray!
Okay, yes, we are back, Scotty, with the mail sack.
That's right, it's time for the mail sack.
Yeah.
Okay. So first we have some feedback from last week's episode from me.
Ooh, curious.
I have not watched Zack Snyder's The Justice League, and I probably won't because I just don't care. Sorry, everybody.
Oh my God.
I don't care. I didn't see the original. DC doesn't really matter to me that much. I just said I didn't think it was fair to compare Justice League to Endgame because they have so much weight on Endgame, and I understand the comparison. But I feel like it's unavoidable, but I don't know that we can really say that Justice League is blah, blah, blah compared to Endgame. That was really all I had.
That's fair. My comment, because I made that comment last week, my comment there is just that I enjoyed it more. I'm just going to say that. I guess there's the end game is like the finale of a chapter of stuff, so there's a bit it kind of is unfair to compare, but as I guess because they're both superhero movies and stuff, they kind of those comparisons do kind of happen. But yeah, I enjoyed the new Zack Snyder's Justice League. I thought it was really fun. I thought they cleared up so much of the characters and stuff, and to be honest, I'm kind of want to watch it again already. Saw it last week, and I'm happy to watch it again. All 4 hours of it.
Yeah, I was going to say you got another full day to kill. And I also said that I would 1000% buy a Sega branded Xbox. I would buy a Sega branded Amico. Are you kidding me? If there was one. So, because you guys were talking about Microsoft buying Sega and whatever else.
Yeah, the rumors about Microsoft buying Sega and all sorts. But yeah, yeah.
That's all I had though. That was my feedback.
Okay.
That's my feedback portion. And then we'll get into the questions here from the Discord. I asked one, and then Graham didn't see it until after the fact, even though I tagged his name and everything. But whatever.
It was mid-recording when you sent it. I just didn't see it.
But you should be checking it actively. Anyway, I mentioned that you defeated Xenocider, and I said congrats. Carlos is your new best friend from what it looks like on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And then I said, I asked, do you think it should get released on other consoles or PC? And if there are any other DC indie games you're looking forward to.
So the Dreamcast indie game I'm most looking forward to still is Intrepid Izzy, platformer, which has been released on Steam now, but
right.
they're still working on the Dreamcast release. I got to demo the Dreamcast release like 2 or 3 years ago now, I think it was. It must have been like maybe not 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. Got to play the demo because I released a little demo online that you could download, which is awesome. And I thought it was a really good game. Solid platformer, looks beautiful, plays great. So I'm really excited to see that. And Xenocider. Scotty, I just got to say I love that game. I know you've been playing it as well. That's such a blast. I'm really enjoying it. It's one of those games that you genuinely feel like the more you play, the better you get. So like the difficulty it's challenging, and you get frustrated at the start, but the more you play, the better you get. So it feels like you're actually achieving stuff when you do it. And when I worked out how to defeat one of the bosses, which I kept dying on previously, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Like, I can't believe I just worked out how to beat this boss. I had to do a different tactic. Well, I won't say any more, because if you want to know, I will let you know another time.
Wouldn't be surprised if I hadn't even made it to that boss. That game I was playing with the twin stick, and it is difficult. I don't like how the crosshair like slowly moves. Like you'll hit left, and then it'll like gradually go faster, and then it'll gradually get to where it needs to. I had to change the sensitivity, maybe because I was using the twin stick. The twin stick is hard mode. The twin stick is automatically hard mode because you're moving your character. I don't remember which one moved, but one of them moves the character left and right. The other one aims. So you're literally like going left and right while stirring a pot of stew, essentially. So it's
So tapping your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. So kind of doing it.
A whole lot of that. Lot of that.
Okay.
I was dying pretty hard.
Yeah. Do I think it should get released on another console? I mean, in a way, maybe PC. I guess because that's quite easy to do. It'd be cool to be honest, it would be cool to see like enhanced version on like Xbox and PlayStation or something, or on the Switch. I think the Switch would be a great option actually for it. But I'm really happy it's on the Dreamcast. That keeps the dream alive. I know that's the stereotypical thing to say all the time, but it's true. So very enjoying playing it and stuff. And they put so much effort into that game. Definitely check it out if you can.
It makes it worth. I mean, it makes it more valuable. I don't know. It adds something to it. The fact that it's only out on Dreamcast.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm trying to say. Yeah, and if people don't know what we're talking about, so I've got my copy here. Xenocider for the Sega Dreamcast.
Behind me, right there, in front of Gunlord.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said Intrepid Izzy. That is
Oh no, Scotty! I think you're frozen again. Sorry, you're back again. You're back again. Let's do this. Yeah.
Great, I'm back. Don't worry, everyone. I was saying that Intrepid Izzy is eventually going to be on the Dreamcast. The reason it's not yet is because they want to make sure all the patches are done and good and it's caught up so that they can release the disc version of the game for Dreamcast and it be the final version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd rather them do that than release one that might have bugs in and then. Because you can't update. It's hard to update a Dreamcast. You have to basically re-release the discs, basically. Which is going to cost a lot of money. So yeah, I'm happy for them to keep working on it. It's great to see it. But yeah, cool. What else we got? Any more questions or?
Well, the next one is related to the main topic. So do we want to hold off on that, or
we can chat about that in a minute or two? Then I guess if it's about what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool.
So I guess that means that, we're not closing them. Are we closing the mail sack, or are we just going into the main topic? How do you want to do this?
Let's go into the main topic this week.
Tell me when we're back.
We're back. We're already back.
We're back, probably. And the main topic.
I love it. So our main topic this week, we are discussing the current rumour, it still technically is a rumour, that the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita and PSP stores were going to close for good this summer. So the original source seems to be the website The Gamer. In fact, I can do my screen share, can't I? Let's do a bit of screen sharing right now.
Probably. And it looks like we got a late question thrown into the Discord as well, which we can address in a moment or now or however you want to do it.
Okay, let's address it now. Let's lock that in.
All right, Happy Dude hopped in there and said the wrong thing that I pasted. No, he said, upon watching a bunch of videos on it, I actually got to play Power Stone on the Megavision's channel the other night and oddly had fun with it. I say this because it came across as a game I have fun watching, but wouldn't think I'd have fun playing. Has there been a game you came across that you didn't think you would enjoy until you got your hands on it?
Ooh, there's quite a lot of games, I think, have done that for me. I'm trying to think of...
I can think of one recently with Blackthorn releasing on that Blizzard 30th arcade anniversary, whatever the hell they've called it, because that did not look like something I cared about. Like Prince of Persia, I played as a kid, but never was super into that really. And also, I was like, well, I like Rock and Roll Racing. I'm definitely buying this collection for that. And I was like, Lost Vikings, I don't care about because I don't care about that kind of theming or whatever it was. But yeah, Blackthorn, I'm having fun with. It's I don't know how well I do without save scumming like I am in that game. But Blackthorn is it's like a more sci-fi, gritty Prince of Persia, if I could sort of describe it.
I'd say darker flashback almost in a way. That's the way I classify it.
Right.
But yeah. I
have another one too. Sega Bass Fishing. I thought that was the dumbest idea in the world. You know, Bassmasters, the TV show and whatever. But if you've got the fishing rod, maybe even if you don't, it's a good, just chill, like zone out game for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Might not be too bad on the Wii. I never really tried it.
I'm just actually looking at my game collection right now over my shoulder, and there's many games I've definitely been unsure about and sort of picked up and played. Tokyo Bus Guides one, I was like, this looks ridiculous, and it's pretty much my favorite thing we do on the Dreamcast Marathon. I love that game. It's so
that fun. Might be the epitome answer for this question. It's a bus driving simulator. It's not Crazy Taxi. It's not like a destruction therapy thing. It's literally, you have buttons to signal your turns. You have buttons to close the door. You have a button to announce when the next stop is or that you're at the stop. It's like, why would this be entertaining? But I mean, there's like train simulator games over in Japan as well and stuff like that. So
you get like horse racing simulator games in Japan, like ones where you bet on horses, and I'm like, that just blows my mind. Like, because you're not even racing, you're not even controlling or racing the horses. No. You're just betting on them. That makes no sense to me.
I remember there's Dave and Buster's. I don't think that's an international thing. I'm not sure. Dave and Buster's is an arcade with a bar and everything, and like a restaurant, kind of pool tables and stuff. But they have a horse racing thing, and the last time I was at one, like we're talking like movie screen almost size monitor where you have probably 2 or 3 rows that you sit at something and you type in your information, and then you actually get a card with the horse that you bet on. But like that's all you're doing is betting on horse races, and it's very Japanese. I remember I was able to name my horse something like Assmaster, but the S's were Z's or something, and so I have a printout of Assmaster the horse or something. So that's me being cultured.
Nice.
Happy Chat says, that's what I was going to say. Okay. Silic really is the fishing rod controller's key. And Happy Dude said the best moment with the fishing controller is when they lost their absolute minds, mainly Graham and Antichrist, when they saw Crazy Taxi being played with it.
Well, I wasn't the one who lost my mind, because I was the one who was playing the game with it, because I knew it could be done, and no one believed me. So yeah, for those who don't know, you can play Crazy Taxi with a fishing rod, and you actually use the reel to drive. That's the accelerator. So you have to really go like that, and then you steer with the stick and everything. Antichrist just was like, "Oh my god!" His reaction was beautiful. So yeah, that was great.
Pick up the customers and stuff.
It's so difficult to play. But it's so much fun.
I was gonna I'll try to find the the marathon clip from that year, and I'll throw it in the chat as well.
Brilliant,
But
cool. And Caesar the writer actually dropped a question in just before we moved away from the mail sack. We may as well address it now.
Okay.
Yeah, hey Graham, quick question: Do you already? Oh, I think you're saying, do you already own your ZX Spectrum Next? I do not have a ZX Spectrum Next, actually. I'm not sure if I'm going to get one. I might do. Like, I actually grew up with ZX Spectrum, the original ones, back in the day, and it's a great little system. I mean, it has really dated now, though. Like, playing some of the games now, because I actually subscribe to something called Antstream, which has a lot of Spectrum games on it. It's a retro, that's an official, legitimately licensed retro gaming platform that can stream games from. Antstream, and yeah, they've got loads of Spectrum games on there, and yeah, some of them have not aged very well because just the way they are, really. But yeah, I may look at getting one. I'm not sure. It's not really one that's been on my list really to pick up. Cool. Yeah.
Good questions overall, though.
Yeah, very good questions. Yeah. And so yes, with that, we can move on to the main chat properly.
Yeah.
So, I was going to share my screen. Let's see if this works. Yes, here we go. Right, perfect, good. Hopefully, yeah. So on the screen you can see. So we're talking about the rumor about the PlayStation 3, PS Vita, PSP stores closing for good in the summer. It's not been officially announced or confirmed by Sony yet, so it's still kind of a rumor, but it's picking up a lot of traction in the news on like quite legitimate sources and stuff around the internet actually talking about it now.
Well, and also Sony is the worst at keeping things secret. Basically, their E3 shows get leaked weeks before E3, so
pretty much.
We may as well take this to heart and just prepare just in case.
Yeah. So this originally comes from this website, The Gamer. Basically, they're the ones who actually apparently have a source at Sony talking about it. Yeah, and it looks like the PlayStation 3 stores are likely to close on July the 2nd. And PSP and PS3 stores are closing on July 2nd. PS Vita, possibly August the 27th. And what does this mean? It basically means that players will no longer be able to make digital purchases or buy any DLC on any of those platforms, basically.
Right.
So yeah, after these dates, you can only use physical copies of games if you want to buy something new. So you probably have to go to secondhand stores to pick those up. Yeah, and I mean, if you own a PSP Go, you're kind of screwed because they don't even take physical copies.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah. Wow. But I mean, so the thing is, these systems, well, apart from the PS Vita, these systems have been out for a long time. PSP originally came out in 2004 in Japan, December 12th, 2004. That's my birthday. Wait. But yeah, that's what, 15 years ago?
Wait, what's your birthday?
December the 12th.
Okay, that's easy to remember. 12.
Exactly. Yeah, tell your friends. And PlayStation 3 was out just 2 years later, so November the 11th, 2006, and Vita was 2011, December 17th, 2011. That's when that first launched. So they have been, PS Vita's been around for 10 years roughly. So they've been out for a while. I can completely understand why this is sort of happening. It costs money to run the servers and stuff to actually have all these games on, and if people are buying NES games on there, why keep that open? But it is a bit of a shame because, looking at sort of Microsoft at the moment, they're kind of quite hot on trying to keep backwards compatibility going, like from the original Xbox 360, and Xbox One as well, being able to play those games still on the Xbox Series X and stuff. While you can't play all those games, they have got a decent selection of retro titles basically on there. So it'd be a shame that some of these games aren't going to be playable. And yeah, effectively, it kind of means that the only way to play PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2 games on PS4 or PS5 is like some PS3 games are being re-released and remastered, so separate games you can buy, so you could buy those, or PlayStation Now is the other way to play them. But they've got a limited selection of games that you can stream that are, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. There's 700 games in total, I think, on the service. They talk about in their marketing. But yeah, there's a limited number of PS2 and PS3 games there, and it's most likely to be the really popular Sony titles normally, which might be the ones you want to play. But sometimes you might want to buy some of the indie titles or the lesser known ones. Let's. I mean, what do you think of this, Scotty?
What's also worth noting. I brought up this old article where it quoted Jim Ryan, who is Jesus Christ, what is his actual title? Sony Europe Chief Jim Ryan. It says here, but this was back in 2017. Ryan said, courtesy of Time magazine, actually, in an interview, he said to them, when we've dabbled in backwards compatibility, I can say it is one of those features that is much requested, but not actually used much. And I was at a Gran Turismo event recently where they had PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games, and the PS1 and PS2 games, they look ancient. Why would anybody play this? I want to punch that guy in the fucking balls. What an idiot. What a fucking moron. That's like saying, oh, Gran Turismo, the game that set standards for racing sims. Nobody wants to play that anymore. Are you hearing yourself, you asshole? What Resident Evil came out back then and just, nobody wants to play the original anymore? Yeah, maybe those things haven't aged well, but such a fucking moron. And also the quote doesn't make sense where he says, this is a feature much requested, but not actually used much. Yeah, you know why it's not used much? Because you're not allowing it to happen. No shit, dude.
Oh, man. But it's kind of strange because it seemed like at one point Sony were really the leaders in the backwards compatibility scene, like with the PlayStation 2 being able to play PlayStation 1 games, and then with the original launch of the PS3 that could play PlayStation 2 games on it in Japan and America, I believe. In Europe, we did not get that, though. Our systems did not have that functionality in them. It's because my understanding is the Japanese and American systems actually had the PS2 chipset in them, which so it wasn't even like emulation, it was literally like proper hardware, firmware in there. Whereas the European ones, we had emulation in ours, so we could play a handful of old games, but not all of them. So our service wasn't as good for that. But yeah, from then on, it's sort of, I don't know, it's a weird one. Like the PS Vita had a lot of cool old PlayStation 1 games in it, which I love playing. That's towards the end of it, PS Vita was mostly what I played was old PlayStation games I never got to play back in the day.
Well, there was also the PS3 when it came out in America was backwards compatible, like you said, to play PS2 games. They stopped doing that they stopped putting that chipset in the PS3, from what I understand, because PS2s were still selling fine. So they were actually losing money when they were putting in the backwards compatibility for PS3s to play 2 games. Yeah. So, but also, shouldn't that emphasize, like, in 1 or 2 years when people you're not going to be manufacturing PS2s anymore? Shouldn't you fucking put that? I hate it. It drives me nuts. Because that's like saying also, like you said with Microsoft, you can play original Xbox games up through the 1 now. Imagine if they just took that off. Like, imagine if that just stopped. So, because I remember when I got my Xbox One, I was just re-downloading all of the backwards compatible games on my XBLA account and everything, like all of those things, like Castle Crashers and frickin' Knights, because that makes sense. And imagine if that just disappeared. Like, people clearly want that. You're not going to make money off the old consoles that play it. You're going to make money off of allowing people to, they say that, and then they're like, oh, but you know what we just did? We remade Crash Bandicoot. We re-released the trilogy. If people are interested in the Crash Bandicoot original trilogy, they can still play those games. You absolute morons. That's an oxymoron that you would even re-release Spyro or Crash because you think that people don't want to play them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because those re-releases, I haven't played the Crash ones. I've been playing the Spyro ones, the remasters. They're not even, from what I can tell, they're not really, there's nothing really added to them. They are basically just really enhanced visually and stuff, which is cool. But it's like you are playing the original game, and that's what I want to play because the original game was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's funny though. Oh, man. I'll just bring this up now because TJ mentioned it in the chat. Basically, on Friday, Sony took down the web pages for the PlayStation 3 store. So the only way to actually access those is directly through the systems, because before you could actually go to the PlayStation Store website, and I'll bring it up on the screen actually. Yeah, they actually had it on the PlayStation Store website where you could actually go to like a PS3 and previously a PS Vita section stuff, and now it's just got PS5 and PS4 sections, and then you've got sort of like deals and add-ons and stuff for PS Plus and PS Now. But yeah, those stores have gone. The store has gone on browsers, but you can still access currently via the systems, and I think that's partly why people are suggesting this is not a rumor. Really, this is probably going to happen because Sony has been making those steps to remove this, to remove these stores from their site. Because I mean, if they were still making a lot of money, why would they get rid of them basically from there? So it kind of seems likely that way. Although TJ actually also added that it seems that the Vita store has a chance of staying open because apparently they're still selling Vita dev kits for developers to actually make Vita games on. So why would you still sell those if you're going to close the store? Very good question. I don't know, because I think at this point it is more likely smaller developers are still buying those Vita dev kits to actually make smaller games.
Which not using them.
Sorry?
I said, Sony's not using those dev kits.
Sony's not using them, that's true. But yeah, if it's smaller indie developers and stuff, or just smaller studios making them, they're not going to release physical games because that's costs a lot of money. They'll release them digitally. So yeah, and if you get rid of the store, then kind of screwed us over. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on this one.
Jeez.
I mean, I don't really know what to say other than that.
You want to bring up my my console here? You want to bring up the PS3?
Yes. So yes, that's okay. Right, this is going to take a moment, and I have to do a little bit of finagling. That's the word I want to use. I don't know if that's the right word I want to use. I need to hold on. Let's see if this works. Keep talking if you can. Keep talking.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, like, this is a pain in the ass. This hits home to Megavisions because there are 3 games that we stream from the PlayStation 3 network that now people can't grab when we're like, oh yeah, this is on the PSN. Go get it real quick. Anarchy Reigns, Sonic the Fighters, and more recently we were streaming Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. Which you'll see. Oh yeah, there's my TV screen on the TV screen. So we're gonna just like look through. You can see my beautiful background.
Yeah.
But so to the game, these are in my game folder. We've got 58 PlayStation 3 titles that will no longer be available. This is a PSP remaster. It's a K-On game. I'll just bring that up for hopefully some of the Weeb fans are still in the chat right now and we're looking. I do have a PS2 title on here. I'm not sure how I got this, but it's Siren. And then I also have I have PC Engine games, so that's besides the fact, but PlayStation 1 games, like these would all work on the Vita. I've got for people listening, we're looking at my PlayStation 3 crossbar right now.
Yeah.
But like there's Resident Evil 2, Bomberman Fantasy Race, all the Resident Evils. This is a good example of like Misadventures of Tronbon. That game goes for like $80 if you want to collect it now. But on the PlayStation Network, it was probably like $5 or $10. There's Dino Crisis again. But yeah, if we go up to the PS3 titles, so arguably more recent, there's this we were just playing online the other week on Thursday Night Throwdown, Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. We do Sonic the Fighters, and this game right now is $5 on the PlayStation Network. Like if I could buy game codes to give it to people because we have fun playing this online, we just won't be able to do that soon. Well, they didn't say that the networks are going to be down, so like you can't play it anymore, but you won't be able to buy this game anymore. Yeah. Let's see what else was in here that is something worth talking about. The prequel to Rocket League, Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power Battle Cars. They did these old school re-releases. There's Golden Axe, Streets of Rage. this is another one that we wanted to bring back. Daytona USA, they re-released on the PSN and on the XBLA with up to 8-player online multiplayer. We are going to do this soon. We're going to play this online on Thursday Night Throwdown soon. But that's another like cool thing that I think this game is $5 maybe now. So if you don't have it, grab the Daytona version or grab the PS3 version of it. They did that with Fighting Vipers as well. And I think that's kind of mainly what I was going to bring up, though. Oh, Hotline Miami is one that more recently the Hotline Miami games got a physical release on PS4 and Vita and Switch, I believe. But yeah, just look at all this crap. This game's not even available anymore, Nabi Nabi Boy, which is a weird thing made by the Katamari Damacy.
Oh, wow. I'll tell you, M&L games.
Yeah.
Binary Domain. That's a game.
I don't think Castle Illusion, the remake they did, is available anymore on there either. I think
that was taken down, sadly. Interestingly, that remained available on Windows Phone and Windows Store on PC a lot longer than it did on consoles.
Okie doke.
I think that's because Sega didn't publish it. Sega refused to publish it on Windows Store, and then Disney, because Disney owns it, they went, "We'll publish it," and it stayed up there for a lot longer, which is kind of good.
That's so weird.
But things. So just quickly though, these games are still available on Xbox Live, aren't they? To download on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's any. Well, like Scott Pilgrim, you cannot get anymore. You can now, but there was that fiasco prior. Super Rub-a-Dub, total classic. Literally, I bought this like the second week I owned a PS3 because it uses the 6-axis. It's this weird game. This is made by Sumo Digital, though. The same people that made Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed, a weird little game where you guide rubber duckies through a bathtub and try to not let mechanical sharks eat them.
That actually sounds really fun.
It's addicting. Video games, everybody.
Video games.
Yeah, but I think like
so yeah, some of these games which were released by Sega, for example, like Sonic the Fighters, they are actually still available. They will still be available to download on like Xbox One and Xbox Series S and X. So yeah, there is one way you can still play them, but not everyone likes Microsoft consoles. Not everyone has an Xbox. So yeah, kind of. But it's interesting when you brought up a point. Will they actually keep the online modes, like the online servers, going for some of these games?
We're still blown away that we can play Anarchy Reigns online and also Sonic the Fighters. I genuinely believe that someone just accidentally left the lights on. Because like, who the hell is still regularly playing Sonic the Fighters besides us,
Man. I probably should try and download these on my PlayStation 3, even though I got to get a bigger hard drive because I know I have more games than this. Can we download some of these games on PS4 at all? Like, are they available on PS4?
I don't think so. Okay. No, I don't think you can. The PS1 games you might be able to. I'm not sure though, and I only say that because they work on the Vita. I'm talking to my butt. Okay. I know that they did re-release some like PS3 games, like the Transformers War for Cybertron. I rebought on PS4 because I'm insane and I wanted to play it again. But that was like just a download copy of the game that originally didn't even have a digital version when it came out on 360 and PS3. I don't think so. Stuff is weird.
Yeah, definitely.
It's weird.
So you've got a good selection there on your hard drive.
I have a lot of crap on here that I've not touched. And some of this is like PS Plus related stuff. So that's the thing too. It's like you are going, and we knew this was going to happen with PlayStation Plus, where you get 2 or 3 games. At one point, you'd have like 7 games free every month because you get like a PS Vita download, a PS3 download, and then PS4 maybe or something. But like PS Plus games that you got for free, download and save them now. Keep them in your library because you might not even be able to download them eventually. So I need to get a hard drive to put all these on just so that they're there if I ever want to play them. Yeah. It's absolutely stupid. So it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense. It's I understand, servers cost money to maintain, but I don't know. It makes them look worse because there was so much confusion with like, oh, but we're going to bring the 100 best PS4 games to the PlayStation 5. Don't worry, you'll be able to play those. We're like, who? That's not what we're buying the system for. Like, I would love to not have to have 5 consoles on a TV stand right now, just so that I can play fucking Tron Misadventures of Tron again or something. You know? Oy. I could talk about this forever, and this is just more emphasis on why, like, I buy physical as well as digital.
Yeah, see, I've actually been getting more and more digital games. There's a few games I still buy like physically for Xbox One and stuff, but yeah, most of them are digital at the moment. Right. Scotty's going to his shelf to grab something. What is it?
I'm going to grab Red Faction that was on the PS2. Was re-released on the PlayStation 4. You can buy it digitally. This was on PS2 only before, but Limited Run did a release of it physically. It has reversible cover art and stuff, but like that game is an example of like it's in the rare group that, okay, this was on PS2. If you don't have a 2 or a 3, you can't play it now, but you could download it again and buy it on PS4.
Oh man,
I don't understand. I don't understand any.
It's crazy. So the thing is, though, and I don't. This is slightly controversial.
Tell me what the thing is, Graham.
I've never been a huge fan of the PlayStation 3 store or service at all. That's one of the reasons.
Those stores are horrible. It was the best on the Vita because you had a touchscreen, honestly.
Oh. Well, I just think the Vita layout was better in general, but the actual PlayStation store on PS3, I never got along with it. I found it very hard to actually find stuff. I also it drove me nuts as well. The fact that you couldn't download 2 games at once. Basically, you couldn't.
Oh right.
You can't go to the store and click on a game and then it says, "Oh, downloading," la 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 la, and just starts doing it. And then you can keep going browsing and stuff. It's been a while since I've done this, so please correct me if I'm getting this information wrong. But from memory, you click on a game and then it starts downloading. Then you get a button to press to say if you want to download in the background, but you still can't download anything else at the same time.
You might be able to. Maybe not on the PS3. I know you can do that on the 4 though.
So yeah, the 4 and the Vita you could do. The 3 you couldn't, and it drove me nuts because the Xbox 360 you could, and like the Xbox 360 was super simple. You literally clicked a button and went, "Yeah, we're downloading." And then you didn't have to click anything else. You could just go and browse and do other things, start downloading another game. I mean, they wouldn't be able to download exactly the same time, but it'd line them up and start downloading them one after the other. So it was super easy to use. And I got my PS3 after I had my Xbox 360, and I was just like using it going, I do not like this. And the game seemed to download a lot slower because there's a couple of games I've got on both systems. And I was like, I'm using the same internet, and yet the PS3 seems to be taking hours to download games that took me like 20 minutes on the Xbox 360. I'm just like, this is, it literally comes up saying like 3 hours. I'm like, they're not full, Blu-ray size games. These are like 4 gigabytes or something. I'm like, what is going on right now? Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So there is, I didn't know if I could show some of the games that are available on PS Now, maybe if we want to. I don't know if we want to go through that. Fun.
Sure.
There's a whole plethora of. Oh, well, it's happened to my screen. That's weird. Sorry, my screen just started going weird on the other side. I think it's my mouse clicks are going weird. So yeah, this is the PS Now page on Sony's site, and so it shows some of the hot games basically. And yeah, see all the games. So yeah, they do actually highlight things.
Clamoring for that.
They highlight some of those games like Alex Kidd in Miracle World, for example, some of those Sega games that you were sort of showing on your PlayStation 3 now being available. But that's the thing. You're going to have to pay a subscription to be able to play these games, some of these games basically. And not all these games, and not all those games are going to be available, like Altered Beast and stuff. I'm just sort of thinking the ones that jump out at me because they're Sega games, basically. Actually, see if Sonic the Fighter's on here. Let's go to the S section. S.
Oh, boy.
Why is it check? Why is that suddenly now going by console? That's really weird. There it's just A's, and now... Okay, never mind. Right, screw it. That's a whole other thing. Yeah, I can't see Sonic the Fighters. It's not there. So yes, that won't be available.
Wait, is that really all the S's?
Apparently so. Which is weird, because the S is normally the biggest category on games things, normally.
That's not much, if it is.
Really isn't. Got Shadow of the Colossus Classics HD though. Woohoo! Which, yeah. Man.
Go to C.
Let's go to C. What's on C?
Because it'll be further in the alphabet, like Crash will be further down. So if we, and I'm watching via Twitch Live.
Oh, okay.
So, wow, that must be, because it goes like Crazy Taxi, Critter, Cubond, I can't read that. Cuboid. He's back.
Is Mickey Mouse on here? It doesn't look like it. No. What's the other game? Daytona. Let's see if Daytona's on here. Daytona, I don't see it there. Oh wait, Daytona, yes, it's there. Woohoo!
Nice. On PlayStation Now.
So some of these games you'll be able to play on PlayStation Now, which is a silver lining. It's something, as you say. Yeah, so that would, I assume that would mean those servers should stay up for those games. Because I think the beauty of Daytona is the multiplayer, the online multiplayer. But yeah, and I mean, are there any particular games that you have, Scotty, that you would want to keep, that you would seriously miss and you would seriously recommend people playing, basically?
Well, if it didn't have physical releases more recently, Hotline Miami would be one of them for sure.
Okay.
Because that one, I actually enjoyed playing that on my Vita more than PS3 because the way that it's a top-down game, and you use the touchscreen on the Vita to like move the camera a little bit to look further ahead of yourself, or not further ahead, but just more areas on the map. Other download-only games, man, that Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD was not good. Parts of it were not good. Like Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power Battle Cars, the prequel to Rocket League, I would miss. It is cool to be able to play Sonic the Fighters now. It is neat to have Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on a more current console. That I kind of wish that they would have made that playable on the Vita, because I would love to have the Sonic Adventure games on the go. But also look at this, like Jet Set Radio is, it says my stream is paused, but, that's why. You don't need to see it though. You're not showing it to everybody. But Jet Set Radio is on there, and that was also released on the Steam, so people can play it on there. But like, so basically that Dreamcast era and other stuff of games like the 360 got a physical version of it where it had Space Channel, Sonic Adventure, Crazy Taxi.
I got that next to me.
Those would be missed. And some indie games, tons of indie games that they're never going to see a physical release because they didn't sell that well. Like Pierre Solar, you can find that physically, but holy crap. And it was cool, like, to have Beyond Good and Evil. They re-released that if you pre-ordered one of the Rayman games because it's Ubisoft. Again, that Castle of Illusion thing. We brought up an article, or I found an article where it showed 5 digital-only PS3 games to buy before Sony removes them from PSN, or 5 that are already gone. I don't know if you were leading into that or not, Graham. Sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we can go into that right now. Huh. Okay.
So it's got the list here. Number 10 is Dungeon Hunter Alliance, and funnily enough, I have that on my PS3 as a PC Engine game. I learned of that game through the Wii Virtual Console, actually. But something that's gone, Fat Princess, if people ever played those games. Dust Force, you got to download. Something else that's gone, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We found that out the hard way because when it was announced that it was going to be at EVO before the pandemic, we were like, that has to be a Thursday night throwdown. We have to get everybody online to play MVC2. Not on the network anymore. Hasn't been for some time. I'll keep going. I'll point at some of the ones that are gone. Nabi Nabi Boy, I brought up as from the creator of Katamari Damacy. It's another weird mind fuck of a game. That's not on the PlayStation Network anymore, so it's gone forever. They mentioned Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit, which is a Sega game. I never actually played that. I think I have it.
It's pretty fun. It's a very niche game, I'd say. It's based on Oh no, I was thinking something else just for a second then, actually. Never mind. So I'd say something else. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I remember enjoying it. I didn't finish it, but I had a lot of fun. I felt like it wouldn't really capture the hearts of everybody, though, basically, all gamers out there. But check it out if you can. It's a pretty cool game. It's very different.
And then I'll also mention one that's gone, the Simpsons arcade game. That's not anywhere on the network. Same as like the Turtles reshelled. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time reshelled edition is gone. I think I have that on my 360, but
oh man,
balls.
Yeah, it's sad. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes.
I think I froze again. Am I back now?
You're back.
Okay. I was going to say, of course, all of this is still rumors. Nothing's been confirmed. But at the same time, when it is confirmed or whatever, they haven't said like if you'll be able to still download them. TJ already brought up that thing with the PS3 store just gone from online. You can only get it through the console. So that is a major thing. Like if my what was I saying that's gone? Like the Simpsons game I have on my 360, I think, or Nobby Nobby Boy or whatever, like something that's only on the PlayStation Network or it was already taken down. Like, will I still download that eventually or whatever?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. There's a lot of indie developers out there who would rely on these digital stores to actually release some of their stuff. Because it's a lot cheaper to do than physical games. And so, that's going to be a shame that they're going to go. I mean, I understand Sony wants to push more for the PlayStation 4, so they have that option to make them for the PlayStation 4. But, I mean, things like the Dreamcast show that the retro scene is still thriving and, some developers just love making games for a certain system. And I think the Vita is one of those things. The Vita is effectively Sony's last handheld. We don't know if Sony's going to make another handheld. They might do. I don't know. But some people want to make handheld games that are portable that wouldn't be able to necessarily be able to release on the Switch, maybe. I don't know.
So, we did have a question related to this. Where Ichabod Brain in the Discord asks, what is the preservation and archival of games on the PS3 360 going to look like? It seems like a lot of software may be lost due to the digital nature of the industry going forward. Emulation still sucks for N64 and Sega Saturn. I cannot imagine how hard PS3 and Xbox 360 onward is going to be. So that is something. How are we going to preserve certain games that have no like single player to them? Like I know there's some sort of thing out there that archives World of Warcraft plays because that game is only online. You know? Things to think about, basically.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think, and unless something like I know companies like the Polymega team, they've been talking about possibly having like some sort of digital online store where they can hopefully get some of those games back on there. Maybe something like that might happen. There might be this retro system that can bring those games back, get them licensed again, go digitally. But yeah, it's a worrying thing. I mean, there's pros and cons to these digital games and stuff and streaming services and things like that. Some of it's convenient, most of it's convenience really, and also affordability. But then when stuff starts to go, and just space as well, like I've got freaking a shelf here and a shelf over there, just stacked full of old retro games like Saturn and Dreamcast games and stuff. I've actually had to throw away nearly 30 games recently because like physical games, because I just don't play them anymore. And they were
throw them away.
Well, when I say throw them
away into the mail.
Sorry, when I say throw them away, I mean I took them to a shop to trade in. Basically, okay. Sorry, not actually. I didn't throw them. Sorry, that
emotionally throw them away.
Emotionally throw them away. But I realised these were games I hadn't played. Like some of them I had never played. I picked them up thinking, "Oh, I'll play that one day." Never did, and they were PlayStation 3 games. And as I've said before, PlayStation 3 is not my favourite system by quite a long way. So yeah, I'd rather have space for PlayStation 4 games, for example, or my Vita. Although, I mean, I feel like Sony screwed themselves over with the Vita anyway, with the fact that the memory cards are literally the one thing I think would have saved the Vita more, like made it sell a lot more, would be if they had freaking SD cards in it. Don't use bespoke PlayStation Vita cards, which are freaking expensive. If they were really cheap, fine. Okay, great. They're cheap. But they were expensive, and every game had to be installed on it. Like, even if you bought a physical game, you had to install part of that game onto your system at least. So your cards just filled up just like that. So after, like, I got quite a few games on my Vita and stuff, and then I just stopped buying them. After like a few months, I just stopped buying games because the memory cards were costing more than buying the games. And it's just like, I can't keep up with this. What's the point? And so, yeah. And I feel like if they didn't do that, the system could have gone a lot longer. It could have been a lot stronger because it's a freaking amazing handheld. I mean, it was a very powerful machine. It looks amazing. It ran really well.
Yeah,
and
that OLED screen was nice.
Yeah.
I like how it feels in my hands better than the Switch handheld.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's it's probably one of the nicest handhelds I've ever held.
Yeah, but that was what another thing I was going to bring up is like, yeah, I have to. So now, for fear of this, I have to buy one of the biggest stupid memory cards for Vita, which were only released in Japan, are like over $100 because fuck everything. Or I could just get a bunch of small ones, but yeah.
But are they still expensive in America? Because I think I looked last year.
Expensive because they're proprietary. It's stupid, and they're only going to go up now because of this.
Okay, we need to get in there fast, guys. Okay, because yeah,
I need to.
But yeah, I think the last PS Vita game I got was a Christmas present, which was the Tearaway, the one that everything's folding up. And I know I forgot to play it because my memory card was full up, and I didn't want to actually get rid of any of the games I had on there. Because basically, I was just like, I never actually got to play my Christmas present, so maybe I should.
Yeah, there you go.
I should actually do that.
It's a shame too because like games like Gravity Rush is a great game.
Yes,
and that got I didn't really enjoy it on the Vita.
Okay,
so I picked it up on PS4 randomly, and it's I played through it. I loved it. It's like I love the character Cat and everything, like the design of her and the characters in that game. Because it reminded me a lot of Knights, actually, like how a Knights game could be modernized. But I experienced that and had more fun with it on the PS4. But that was at one point like a selling point for the Vita was that game and like the Uncharted game and whatever else.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is like not every Vita game has the luxury of being ported like that. And that's also a harder to find game on PS4 for whatever reason. I think it had a small shipment. But yeah, there's just so many, like a game that was arguably better that only recently got released on PC was Persona 4 Golden. People said that version was the best to play and that was only on the Vita.
Okay.
So, it's stupid. I understand we can't just keep these networks up forever, but goddamn. I guess just give us some warning where it sounds like overall Sony's going to be like, all right, 2 months, everything's gone. Get it now,
Yeah. Yeah. And
so,
yeah, it's kind of interesting because this feels, because this kind of sort of happened with the Wii, basically. Back in the day, like I bought a lot of retro games on the Wii. Because there were some games that were Japan only, like Super Nintendo or Mega Drive or even N64 games that I bought on there because I never got to play them, and I finally got to play them. Right. But yeah, now they're things that people can't really get hold of, because the store closed down and everything, and so yeah, I've got to keep my Wii alive basically, so I don't lose all that information.
Heyo. Well, yeah, that's. I had a situation with that, and we can move on after this because I think we've talked a lot about this. But I had a situation with my Wii where I saved all of my downloaded games onto an SD card, and I had like a dozen or so downloaded, like the Marios and whatever, and I mentioned Dungeon Explorer, but I totally lost that SD card. And there was also a time where you could save your games on an SD card.
Yeah.
And then they stopped allowing that, and then they let it happen again, or like Nintendo allowed you to do it. Yeah, it was some weird back and forth thing. So, but like part of the reason I lost that is because it was just another SD card, and just being your average nerd, I've SD cards everywhere. But so if I get a Wii again, I could just pop that SD card in if I could find it. But with the fucking Vita, like I'm going to only have these games on those stupid Vita cards. So, and
sorry, Scotty, that goes back 360 in this chat and in our podcast show. That is why wrong Dreamcast. It's not the wrong Dreamcast. Whoops.
Too many Dreamcasts here. Sorry, folks.
That was my physical one, whereas I was playing Xenosaga on. That is why I have a couple of SD cards stuck into the Dreamcast. They're actually a little bit blue tack. There you go. It's this tiny little bit of what you call it? I don't know if you call it. We call it blue tack over here.
We just call it wall tack or sticky tack.
Yeah, that stuff. Just a couple of bits of those. They're not touching the metal bits, so it's fine. but that's so I don't lose the things that I have for my GDMU, basically. So I don't lose the games that I've saved on there.
Like that. I mean, that's like your Windows install disks, right?
Yeah, basically.
Like you needed to keep those nearby, otherwise they are gone.
Yeah, I would lose those SD cards just like that, basically. But that's why they're there. Yeah, so I guess we've spoken about this enough, haven't we? I guess that does it for this show. I mean, it's sad about the PlayStation. We'll have to keep an eye out. It may not happen. There's still a rumor, but it looks like it will do. So if you can, jump on your PS3, PS Vita, PSP if you still got one, and download any games that you want to get, because they may not be available much longer. So yeah, with that, Scotty, I guess that does it for this feature and for the show. Are you currently looking to who to raid at the moment?
I am.
Perfect. Okay. While you're doing that, we are Megavisions. So if you don't know about us, we actually have a digital and physical magazine. We are a Sega-focused site, but we do look at retro gaming and indie stuff as well. So check us out. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/Megavisions. We're actually currently in the process of revamping our magazine, so doing a redesign, so hopefully we'll have something to share with you quite soon. We also have a website, megavisionsmag.com, where we post up regular news, like sort of retro Sega news mostly, other bits and pieces on there. And we're also available on Twitter, so follow us, like us on Twitter and stuff. So at Megavisionsmag, also on Facebook at Megavisionsmag, and also on Instagram at Megavisions. So yeah, we're also on YouTube as well, and follow, like us, subscribe to all those things. Really do appreciate the support, everybody. And thanks for being active in the chat. Thanks for all your questions, and yeah, let's keep it all coming. Yeah, any feedback, drop it in.
If you go to our YouTube, you can see that I recently uploaded a Xeno Crisis comparison video on the different collector's editions and the soundtracks that came out from there. So you can go to our YouTube and check that out. You can also see Graham's recent playthrough of the Xenocider story mode that we've been talking about earlier in this episode. And on my personal YouTube channel, I recently unboxed that game. And Space Channel 5 VR, funky, fresh, kind of funky. I forget what the full name of that ridiculous game is. My YouTube name is just Scotty Mo. So if you look up Scotty Mo unboxings, you'll be able to find it. Mm-hmm. And let's see what else here. I think that's it, though. But definitely go check out that Xeno Crisis video, because I had fun doing that. And Graham helped me edit it because it was stupid how difficult it was to do that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but I think we are going. Oh, and we have streams going up. We stream almost every day of the week. Mm-hmm. Between this and the other members, everybody can welcome Alex, the Hatted Gamer, and also H2O Happy Dude to the streaming team now. We recently played Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform. We're going to keep that up every once a month at least, because that seems to be a lot of fun for everybody.
Yeah.
Despite that game not being optimized for PC, it's still a good time. I had so much bullcrap happen in that I've decided that I'm going to record my sessions while Corey is the host. Even still,
really?
'cause it's just wonky stuff happened. But yeah, so I'm going to keep playing Croc this week, but we've got retro stuff, we've got modern stuff going on almost every day on Twitch. Just follow us on Twitter, and above all, hop on our Discord, which we always share while we're chatting right now. That's the place to probably best keep up with what we're doing. But
absolutely, yeah. And
we are going.
I was going to say on Friday I should be back with more Burning Rangers. So if you haven't played this classic Saturn game, check it out, because I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
Nice. Let me see here but thank you to everyone hanging out. And also be sure to check out the Scrubverse podcast. They'll be doing that tomorrow. Sister site to us. They do crazy things. You guys know Corey and Anti-Chris. But unless you got anything else to say, Graham, I'll go ahead and hit enter and we'll go ahead and raid.
Just thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for being here, and be excellent to each other.
Honey, I gotta tell you about this sandwich.